Let's talk about ant shares. Man, these guys are having terrible luck with their naming. I think mainly because it's one of the, or it's a Chinese outfit. I think the translations always don't work because I don't think many people really supported or thought it was professional to have a coin called ant shares. And I'm not suggesting that that's enough of a reason to stay away from it. It's just then when you change the name to Neo, it's like anytime they're going to be doing any of their marketing, they're going to be competing with the Matrix or the Singer. So I just think it's going to be really hard for them to brand moving forward, and I think their name is just going to cause some confusion. Even if all of their technology was perfect and everything else, I just think that's a very unfortunate set of names to have in English. Antshare's mission statement is digital assets for everyone. So it's very similar in that respect to Ripple. This coin or this technology is not good for the libertarians. It's not good for the privacy advocates. It's an open ledger technology. So it's not at all aimed for privacy. It's aimed for accountability. It's aimed for contracts. It's aimed for flexible transactions. But one of the biggest differences with this currency over the other ones is it allows for refunds. So it's a much more accountable, I guess, blockchain technology compared to, say, Monero, which is the privacy currency, or Bitcoin, which is the very basic blockchain technology without refunds. So it's interesting, but I guess my biggest problem with it after reading the white paper and looking through it is that I don't see enough of a difference in the technology to really warrant anything that's special. It does have a little bit better technology, as in it doesn't require a proof of work or a proof of stake. It works off a different fault tolerance system, which is better, but I don't know if that's enough of a reason by itself for it to be a successful currency. The other thing that I think could make it successful is obviously it's the Chinese version. So for us to speculate, or for me to speculate in the US what the market is over there is even more difficult. So there could be a great reason for this technology to succeed, and I'm just ignorant over here, especially with the language barrier and the culture and just how it's being adapted in China itself. It's just hard for me to speculate and make a sound investment for that. What's interesting with Antshares / Neo is that it's really made for any type of record transaction. So it's made for any type of ledger system that needs accountability and openness. So it could be used for DMV registrations, it could be used for property transfers, it could be used for any type of smart contracts, and it really eliminates the need for escrow companies. And that's a unique situation. So unlike the blockchain or the basic Bitcoin contracts, where, for example, you just had to send money and you needed an application. For example, if you wanted to send money every week, you needed an application on top of Bitcoin that would do that. This currency lets you set up smart contracts, which means that if you wanted to pay somebody every single week for their service, you could set up this reoccurring transaction and make sure, as long as they continue doing the contract, that they get paid their agreed upon amount every single week. And that's just one of the many flexible examples when you start doing smart contracts. One of the biggest applications for this that's been explained to me is the patent law and anything that requires holding intellectual property, because it's sort of it has the ability to put a stamp and a date stamp and a proof of ownership on a record. So for that regards, it's really good for doing patent law, or it's doing anything that has time-sensitive intellectual property involved. So now what we'll do is we'll take a look at the market share, and we'll look where what the current situation is. Let's go over. Okay, so now let's take a look at the market capitalization, the price, and where it's sitting and where we think it's going to move to. If we look down the list of currencies, we can see that Antshares is all the way down in number 18. It actually, I think, was at some point in the top 10, and now it's dropped back down. The price right now is $6.96. It was definitely above $10 for a while, so it's down a little from its high, but not down at all from where it started. It's gone up a lot since its ICO. As far as trends, as far as my predictions for the future, this one is way too far out of my wheelhouse to predict. I think overall cryptocurrencies are going to do well. I think short term it's impossible to predict whether they're going to go up and down. I think if we look at a year or two time frame, I think that all of the cryptocurrencies that have got some utilitarian purpose will do well. So if AntShares is the Ethereum of China, then I think that this would follow the pricing patterns as Ethereum, or for that matter Bitcoin. Psst, follow me. Every time somebody likes one of my videos, I water these plants. Every time somebody subscribes to my channel, I give them a treat. Every time somebody shares a video on Facebook, to help me spread the word, unless you're one of those dog-hating, tree-hating, anti-American